Hey guys, Stock Hunter 84 here. Just want to go over. I made a video before. It was long, but I forgot to turn my microphone on. All right. Well, anyway, so this is my first video here. Hopefully the microphone's working this time. I just want to go over a few things here that I'm looking at as far as the market coming up next week, as well towards the end of the year. Okay. First one is the Qs here. We have tech rally. I mean, basically for 5 months straight, ever since April here, it's just been up, nonstop. Right now I have my pitchfork here, and price. It's trying to close within the fork. Qs do look a little weak right now, in my opinion. Think about this, right? So tech, they had a massive rally um during the pandemic because a lot of this stuff went online, plus stimulus money and whatnot. So tech definitely did get a huge push. Now, does it mean have to come down? No. I mean, if the companies are actually maintaining the revenues and their profits and they're beating earnings and whatnot, no, it does not need to come down, especially with the depreciation of the dollar a little bit. Then you know doesn't necessarily need to come down. So if the dollar does depreciate, then obviously prices on the market goes up because now it's worth less. I mean, get what I'm saying? So that's the monthly chart. As you can see, the center of my pitchfork here has been acting as support for 5 straight months, almost to the T. Okay, so if we go on a weekly chart, I mean, that's pretty much about the same. If we take off that super low here and just move to a more realistic area, then the Qs are well inside. Um, the Qs are well inside the fork. Um, And if we go back to a previous pullback here, the Qs are definitely well inside the fork, but it does give room to come down. So there is a possible pullback reaction here. Don't really know when that's going to happen or if it's going to happen. But as you can see, the 270 level here has been acting as a resistance. Price did spend some time here again. Okay, so and now, maybe a week or two out, that is sort of like the bottom of the pitchfork. So yeah, it does have room to come down. Okay, and it's still being a bullish area, and that would still be higher lows. Okay, so now, is the higher low right now going to be here, or is it going to be here, or is it going to crack and come down and be here? We don't know. Okay, so we do need to watch and see what's going to happen. But for the short term of time, things, I do believe it's on the bearish side. But I'm not making an opinion about it. I'm going to watch every day as a new day. Okay. Price did come down here. Volume was higher. um, Volume was higher. So I would definitely like to see a lower volume with price consolidation. Um, let's take a look at the daily here. That it is kind of what happened like here now. Okay, so volume went down, price came down, so that is a bullish sign. So if we go here on the daily, and we'll take that, move back here to the March lows. Now price is respecting the trend line, and it is trying to close above, that area. So that is a good sign. So, but we have to see. I know the hourly chart. It has broken out of the um, downtrend for a little bit. I am not very bullish with just yet. But price did break out above. Okay, so what I would like to see is I would like to see the two the 286 area here to touch, maybe come down, consolidate. Man, I got some in my throat. And more coffee. So maybe move that parabolic SAR here to the bullish and trail on it, and price continue to go up like it did right here. See, like after came down, it touched it, turned the parabolic SAR to the bullish side. Price kind of came down, but never broke below this level. Went back up, retested, right here, turned to the bullish side, and then just took off from there. So hopefully that's what we'll see. And that's basically the same thing with the S&P. We actually do have a couple of fib levels here. Opened up for the S&P. So that's a good area to keep an eye on it. Let's go to the daily. So the daily will take the lows towards the highs. Price is bouncing off the 38 fib level. Okay. I did move my pitchfork back before the panic sell. As you can see, price has reacted. Price has reacted around that line, more realistic. Here, 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 and now it's reacting here. Okay, so if we do move, I don't want to leave that out as, I just want to look at everything. So if we do move to this one here, then we got a little bit of reaction there. This works as a uptrend line, I guess, and the price is still within the fork. We go to the weekly chart. You always want to reevaluate at the end of the week on how the price acted, so you can have an idea of what possibly is going to happen for the upcoming week. Okay. So price, it is well within that area. We move this back here. No panic sell. Let's say no COVID happened. Market would just keep on going. Price is now reacting. Price is now reacting around that center line, which once again, let's go back to it. That's why I moved back and didn't quite take that under consideration very much, is because price has been bouncing off and playing with that center line. Here, here, closing below and then coming down. That 340 level, now it's acting. If you pull back, if you move back here, you can see previous highs. Price acted around that area. Price has been bouncing off around that area. So definitely something to keep an eye on it. If it does happen to close below that 338 338 level, possible downside here to the 320s again. I mean, we don't know. We need to see what's going to happen. Um, so what we want to see is we want to see price um, break above that line, make a higher high, then come back, retest, make a higher low, and then a higher high. Okay, so right now, same with the Qs. It's sort of like forming, and it formed already an inverse head and shoulder here. Now it looks like it wants to do a cup and handle, and everybody's watching this. Like everyone and their mothers are staring at this chart, right? Because what they want to see is they want to see this just go straight up now. What happens when the market gets overcrowded, and a lot of traders are looking at the same pattern? Market tends to not act as you know we thought was going to. So it doesn't always does. I mean, hell, most of the time it doesn't do exactly what you think it's going to do. So it could bounce early. It could bounce late. You know, Overall, it's still an uptrend. If you look from back there, still an uptrend. But when is the uptrend going to make a higher low? So technically, as long as it doesn't, let's see here, as long as it doesn't break what 320, doesn't make a 315 or whatever. And even if it does, like that could still be a higher low from this. So when is it going to stop? Right? So we need to keep an eye on it. I would like to see price somewhere here gets near my parabolic SAR, and that turns to the bullish, just like it did right here. Came back down, retested, and then just sort of, if you're buying calls like around this area, then you sort of like, no, okay, well, I'm just going to use my parabolic SAR here as a trailing stop. If it does get near, or if it does do a pull, a major pullback or whatever, then I'm getting out. And you can technically, I wouldn't use that for the date. I mean, I guess you could, but you could use that. You could use that for the hourly chart, or the well, I use it a lot on the 5 minute or the minute chart. So as you can see, like price reacted, came back down, and then you can kind of use that. Then if ever touches it, then that's usually when I'm exiting my positions. For like scalps and day trades and whatnot. But anyway, this is not what we're talking about. We're looking at the daily, and basically every chart looks like this. So you have a WM. Actually, so that looks like wants to do a breakout. That was a late runner. For all-time highs, and still has not made. The Qs were the first. The S&P was the second. And boy, I hate this thing. I don't even look at it anymore. I just did today, but yeah, I had a pretty big loss on that one time. So anyway, but if you look, at whatever, like even Apple is following the same thing. Then we got Apple here, same thing. It is closing below, but once again, that's March lows, right? So I mean, do we use March lows as a panic sell-off, as a possible Fork. I mean, I don't know. I like to look at different things. I like to kind of see how the price was reacting prior to that sell off to make my decisions. Right? I don't want to, as you can see here, price kind of reacted there, reacted here again, reacted here again. Is he going to come down here and bounce off? I mean, what is he going to do? I mean, that's right now in the daily, we're still in a bearish for Apple. I actually do have calls for that. You know, so well, once again, same thing with Tesla. Like people did think that was going to run up towards the earnings, and it never did. Um, so that might be the same concept for Apple. I did size down quite a lot from my positions, and I'm just holding a few. But yeah, it's it may run up, it may not. It all depends what the market is going to do, and I believe that this week now is going to be a pretty good decision um for how the earnings and whatnot is going to be. Now, another thing to think about is, look at this. Like that hasn't pulled back, right? And then you go to Microsoft, and Microsoft ever since March, I mean, did have some sort of a pullback here. Here's another cup of handle. Everybody's looking at all this, right? Did have a little pullback, whatnot, consolidated. Um, you have AMD. People are thinking head and shoulders here, possibly come down. I'm actually bullish on AMD. Do not have a position, but I'm actually bullish on it. Now, this could be an inverse head and shoulders. This could be a head and shoulders to the bearish side. Um, People are watching all this, right? Overcrowded plays. I don't like those. You have NVIDIA, possibly, you know, had a cup and handle breakout here. Still, they all still need to break out on a daily, right? So on a daily, they are still um there's still not a major confirmation. NVIDIA kind of broke out here in the close a little bit above, so that's a good sign. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on it to see what they're going to do. But another thought is, look, so the market doesn't really care what happens today. The market does care what's going to happen 6 months from now, and that's a fact, right? Um, so that's definitely a fact. Yeah, see, I don't even like this thing. So it's like, yeah, it did manage to close inside the fork, which is good. So I guess that's a bullish sign. We still need to see what's going to happen. And if we take once again at damn March lows, guys, like you know how that moves a lot of what you might be seeing. Um, just because I don't think that March lows is realistic. Um, like to every stock. Those were sell-offs of just panic and fear. But you know, still managed to close inside, which is a good thing. But like I was saying, the market doesn't really care what happens today. It cares what's going to happen, 6 months from now. So all those COVID companies, as we call it, they had major revenues during COVID just because a lot of the stuff was done online, and a lot of those companies they did sell a lot more than what they usually do during the COVID. Now, once the vaccines come out and COVID's over and people whatever, learn how to live with it. It's not quite realistic for those companies to be having the same amount of revenues and whatnot. So I'm expecting to pull back in some of these companies here for sure. Look at that. If anybody was watching this, that's a perfect, perfect breakout from March lows, right? But fear did not let a lot of people buy those or even watch those. I mean, you're watching major indexes and just, not knowing what you're going to do. But anyway, hopefully this video helps you guys. And this is just like something I'm looking at it coming the week coming up. Just, we have a lot of uncertainty. So hopefully tech picks up and, we'll see what happens. All right, guys.